Hello. Hello, hello, hello. There are already 41 of you here. Hi. Yeah, I totally understand why maybe you saw the title of this video and you're a little shook. I'm I'm a lot of emotions. But I just want to start off because I know a lot of people come back and they re-watch these videos. And so I just want to say, please check out for those of you who are rewatching this video, please check out the links in the description because there's a page down there called my coffee page, and it will explain a lot as to why I am in need of assistance and help. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk to the wonderful people who are here. Hi, how are you guys doing? Um, Anxious to hear about my situation. I'm excited to talk with you guys. There are a few comments from before. I'm sorry you had to leave Korea. I think you could have had more of your time there. Yes, we're going to talk about all of this. I really looked forward to the content from you, but everything was far in between. You're young, you can figure it out next time. Don't let these opportunities go to waste. Yes, amen. Not everyone has these opportunities, especially the ones that I have had and the ones that I will continue to have. Hello, 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 Marie. Hello, Rach and Puffs. That's fun. Hi, guys. Lovely to see you guys too. I'm really bad at pronouncing names, so I feel really bad when I try to pronounce your guys' names and I just butcher it. Magdalena, that's beautiful. Hello, hello. Hello, Doria, Amanda, Miranda. How are you guys doing? How are you doing today? I am doing okay. Um, I pronounced your name correctly. I'm glad. It is wonderful to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming on here. And I want to talk about my situation. I'll give you guys a few minutes though, because my channel is all about helping you. I want to help you in any way that I can. So I do want to give you quickly a few tips. If you are going to Korea anytime soon, I'm jealous. The flight time that you need now is 48 hours. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I updated you guys that on Instagram. It's the same thing as my handle on here at Megan Osten, but on over there, I updated you guys that it's now within 48 hours. So make sure if you're going to Korea, you get a PCR test within 48 hours. It's not 72. That means that Walgreens and CVS are probably going to be a little bit too long and you're going to need to get a rapid PCR test. So I just wanted to start that off so that you guys are aware of that. And if you are unvaccinated or if you're struggling to get things like certified, they are opening up like the bigger places again so that you don't need a QR code to get into the grocery stores anymore. Again, I'll update you guys with more details on my Instagram story. I know why you're here. You're here to know what the heck's going on. You're so sweet, you guys. Spill the tea. All right, I get right to the point. So I'm going to get right to the point. I have notes on my screen because I have been really nervous to talk about this. You guys, if you have experienced any of my other lives, you have noticed that I never talk about what visa type I have. A lot of people would be like, "Hey, what's your visa type? How are you in Korea? How are you living in Korea? I want to know what your visa type is." And I would just skirt my way around that question because I didn't want to talk about my visa situation until I felt like things were more set in stone. And I was really sad and very unhappy to return to America. And so I've been back in America for actually a few weeks. I have so many videos still filmed of Korea fun and goodness. But as soon as I came back to America, I stayed inside. I self quarantined myself to make sure I didn't have any nasties that I was spreading. And then literally, as soon as I stepped out yonder, I went to a coffee shop. I didn't even hang out with anybody. I hung out with one person, but I went to a coffee shop and I got COVID. So if you guys were on my Instagram when I was saying how I was really sick because I got COVID. And I didn't know I had COVID for days because you can't get a test here in America right now because the whole world the whole America has COVID. So I got really sick. So I was not feeling well at all. I had a really bad temperature. The illness stuck with me for a while actually, and I am vaccinated. So I don't know. I got COVID. And then after that, I had so much content that I really wanted to get up quickly because I felt behind from getting sick that I still wasn't ready to address it. And then I had some stuff happen in my personal life that really took, yeah, I have a very small community in America where I currently live in Atlanta. And so to come back to like a place where I don't feel wanted, as in, like, in Korea, I feel like I can be there, I can help you guys, I can put so much effort into this channel, and then I come back to where I'm currently living in America. My community is really small, and then I got back and it had to shrink even more because of some personal stuff. And so I was like super not in the mood to share or talk about it until I felt more grounded. But I am in America. You said, "Are you in USA now?" I currently am in America. I am in good old Georgia. I'm not from Georgia. I'm from upstate. I'm actually from upstate. I'm from up. I'm from Ohio, Connecticut. I'm a northerner girl, but I've migrated as I've lived my life, which is why if you ever think I have a bit of a southern accent, it's because I lived a lot in Kentucky and Georgia and with southern people around me. So that's why my accent's a little strange. But I'm currently in America, and this is what happened with my visa situation, and this is what's going to happen in the future. Hopefully, Lord willing, please help me out. Lord, he knows I need help. The first time I went to Korea was in March of this year. It was not planned. It was very last minute. I had my whole life, I've been someone that saves up a lot of money to travel, to do things that future me really wants to do. I'm the kind of person that I convince myself out of every purchase. I never cared about what I looked like, so I never wanted to buy like the latest and greatest shoes or the latest and greatest fashion. I never really had like a desire to have material goods, I guess. I just kept thinking, I want my bank account to continue to go up so that in the future, when there is something I really want, I can purchase that. So that led to me just like saving a whole lot of money. And come beginning of 2021, did I say March of this year? Do I really think it's still 2021? Okay. March of 2021 comes around, and I realized I was in a state of my life where I could go to Korea. And I've always wanted to go to Korea ever since I lived in China. I was a missionary in China, and the door to being a missionary in China closed very quickly. It was out of my own hands. But while I was living there, I met a Korean couple, and it was like the first time I was ever introduced to anyone Korean, the Korean language, Korean culture. I had a ticket while I was living in China to go to Korea, but I had to cancel it because I had to come back to America. So it was the next place on my bucket list. I was like, I'm going there. It's going to happen. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. And I started taking some Korean classes because I just thought the language sounded so beautiful. I wanted to learn it. Fast forward to Korea kept coming into my life. I didn't exactly pursue Korea. Like I was in an acting class. I randomly get assigned a partner and it's this Korean guy. And I didn't know. I mean, I assumed he was Korean. I wasn't totally sure. But when we got to talking, I was like, oh, you're Korean. I asked him, I know this is really weird. Do you know anybody who teaches Korean? I'm kind of interested in learning it because I think it sounds beautiful and I plan to go there one day. And he's like, my sister teaches Korean. So I started taking online Korean classes here in America. I literally typed in closest job near me into the new apartment that I was living in, and it was a Korean barbecue. I had never had Korean barbecue. Next thing you know, I started working at a Korean barbecue. So Korea has been in my life and in what felt like my trajectory for a long time. So March comes around of 2021, and I was like, I'm just going to go. The pandemic is a mess, but I like the way that Korea's handling the pandemic. And I like that at that point, we are being like more cautious, where in America, people are getting like more like, we're sick of this. And I still felt kind of cautious towards it. So I was like, I don't mind going to a place where I'd have to quarantine and wear a mask and stuff like that. I think I'd feel a little bit more comfortable in this season just going to Korea. And I was like, well, why the heck not? I love cafe culture. I love public transportation. I love living in a city. And I started looking into ways that I can maybe volunteer in Korea. I was just looking into all these different things, but I basically said, we're going for it. March 2021, I told my friend, I think I'm going. She just so happened to be able to be in her life, able to come with me. It was amazing. And The next thing you know, March 2021, I'm in Korea, and I was like, this is amazing. I love it. I wasn't planning to start a YouTube channel. I wasn't planning to have like all of these videos that became what they were. I was thinking I would maybe make some vlogs to show people like my experience, but I wasn't expecting this channel to like be birthed into this how can I help people channel. And I am so incredibly grateful and thankful that it did. What sucks is that Korea is a country that it is really difficult to be there if you don't want to be an English teacher. Did I go to school to become a teacher? I did. I studied education. I studied education. I studied education and theater. So I've done theater my whole life. I'm definitely considered an actress, I guess. And then I studied math, science, theater. I thought I was gonna be, like, the math teacher at a middle school and then, like, do the after school theater program. That was, like, my dream, like, growing up when I was little. Once I became a Christian, everything kinda changed, and I just wanted to tell the world about Jesus, and so I would go to different countries and do all these different things. So basically, the next thing you know, I'm in Korea and I was like, I want to help people because I made all these mistakes coming to Korea myself. I was told the wrong information about PCR tests. I was not informed at like how Korean customs would work. I had literally no idea how to get anywhere. I got out of quarantine and my friend and I looked at each other and were like, where's the taxi? Like we did, we knew we needed to take a taxi. We didn't know where it was. And then we were like, how do we pay for a taxi. Like we literally had no clue. And so this channel came out of like all the questions I wish I knew answers to. I was like, I want to make videos because I feel like this would help someone because I had all of the anxiety. I had it all. Leaving quarantine, I was terrified. So I was like, well, this video would help someone maybe feel less anxious. And this video. And so the channel, birthed from that. And by the end of my trip, the first trip, I was like, I love Korea and I want to keep making these videos. I need to go back, but I don't know how. So I came back to America because I thought so March is when I arrived, which means a 90-day tourist visa. I have to leave in June. I thought I would be able to extend my tourist visa. Fun fact, you cannot. You can't extend tourist visas. They have completely canceled that ability that any tourist can extend their visa. My flight was canceled on me. I didn't do anything, but I had a flight through Lufthansa, which is in Germany, and they're like, COVID's really bad right now. We're canceling all flights. So my flight got canceled. And so I go to immigration, like they canceled my flight, but they told me they have extra flights in August. So I just need, to have the basically I just need an extension until the beginning of August when they can give me a flight home so I don't have to buy a new flight. And they straight up said to me, there are flights back to your country. You have to buy a new ticket. Like you have to leave. Like they tried to speak to me in Korean. I was so terrified. Obviously, immigration is supposed to be not like fluffy cloud experience, but it is a very intimidating experience. Do not mess around. In immigration, don't mess around with those people. They are strict. And I think they're like taught to be mean because they're the only people that I've ever met in Korea that I was actually scared of and like intimidated or like, whoa, other than the random drunk guy that tries to talk to me. That guy's also creepy. But we're talking like these people are trained to be scary. And I was honestly dumbfounded. They were trying to speak to me in Korean. They were like upset when I didn't speak Korean fluently. I understood what they were asking me, but I was too terrified to make a sentence because the whole situation was scary to me. And so I'm like, and they were like, you don't speak any Korean. And so the whole experience was horrible in immigration. And I had no choice. I have to go home. Like, period. I have to go home. So I come home in June. I'm so sad because I thought I could stay in Korea and keep making these videos. And I knew, okay, I want to come back. How can I come back? So I literally was like, okay, I still have this much money. If I save this much, I think that I can go like if I just work a little bit before I leave, I think I can go back kind of soon. And so I worked really hard and I was like, you know what? I still have enough saved up from before and I've worked enough. I can go back. So when did I go back? September? I went back in September. Yes, I went back in September and I actually went back on a second tourist visa. A lot of people thought I had started being like a teacher or thought I would be a student. I was like, no, I don't have enough time right now to figure out all of the details of the long-term visas. I just want to go back and get more content because I had planned that that extension period would be the time that I could film a lot of videos, and then I could come back and keep like editing them and release them later. You guys are talking about immigration is the worst. Immigration is scary, is terrifying. Okay. I hope none of you have to go to immigration, but you will eventually. But it's okay. Get through it. Just know that they're scary in advance. um, so yeah, I went back in September. Just literally, I was like, I don't care how much money I have to spend. I'm gonna try to be as cheap as possible to stretch the like few coins I had to make it last for another 90-day visa because I wanted to make sure I could get as much videos as possible. And I was just gonna like focus fully on my YouTube channel. That's what I did from September to December. I still have so many videos that I have filmed, but editing just takes me a really long time. And I was like balancing in Korea, like going out and doing things and filming and trying to have an own life and edit. And in Korea, it was kind of hard because the priority for me was like, I'm in Korea, I want to film. So I came back and it was really hard for me to come back because the second time I went to Korea, I am so incredibly grateful for the people that I met and the friends that I made because I truly feel like my parents and the friends that I have in America, there's like a handful of people that have been with me for a really long time, but they don't live near me. And it's really hard to have a friend that doesn't live near you, right? It's like you can talk on the phone every once in a while and you can catch up, but it doesn't feel the same as when you have a community, a group of people near you that you meet regularly, see regularly. And in Korea, I had found a church and I had found a community group that was loving me so well despite like even despite all the craziness of my story or things that I had done in my past, reasons that other people have judged me for the past 5 years of my life, I've been very misjudged by things that I've done in my past. And so I felt very alone and isolated in a lot of ways. And so I went to Korea. I found this group of people that loved me, even knowing those things about me. They loved me so well. And it's like, all I want to do is get back to this church in Korea because making videos and, like, helping you guys, knowing that I can help people and relieve some anxiety is, like, a privilege, and it's an honor, and I love it so, 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 so much, and then feeling, like, loved and wanted and cared for by, like, the people in my community groups, and feeling so loved and cared for, like, through you guys encouraging me that my videos have been helpful, like, everything about my life right now, I want it to be in Korea. I the only thing that I have in America that I wish I could take with me are my few friends and my parents. Like, I'm so thankful to have the parents that I have that I love and adore, and we're really close, and the friends that I have that are so close to me as well. The very few of of them, but those people in America, like, they're the only thing that keeps me here. I have no career here. I have no family. I have no ties to America. Korea is where I see opportunity for me. It's where I see uh, my skills being used. I see these opportunities to help you guys. So I basically had to leave Korea because there are only three options for visas. If I'm being completely honest, there are only three options for visas. There are other rare occasions, and you can go and marry yourself up if you want to find someone that is a Korean native. That's a lot of commitment for me, and I'm a little hesitant when it comes to commitment like that. But you can be an English teacher, which the time commitment, the pay is great. They pay for your apartment, but the time commitment, just I know myself, I would be way too tired to keep making videos. And that's like the whole reason I want to be in Korea is to make videos. So why would I do the one thing that's gonna prevent me from doing the one thing? Like, why would I do teaching when it's gonna prevent me from doing the one thing I want to do? Secondly, it's I really am interested in going back to school as a student because I want to learn Korean. And I really feel like when you know more Korean, there's more opportunity for you in Korea, but also it's just you can feel more comfortable and you can feel like Korea is more at home. So I was like, I'm really interested in being a student, but that's really expensive. I don't exactly know how I could do that. And then there's an entertainment visa. And if you guys know anything at all, I wanted to go back to be on an entertainment visa and speak with some Korean organizations maybe that would be able to sponsor my visa. Well, let's talk about entertainment visas for a second because and I'm so sorry I'm not reading these comments. I promise I'm going to go back and read them. I just don't want to lose my train of thought. But I do see the love and the hearts, and I appreciate that so much. Um, the entertainment visa, it sounds great and it used to be great, but the current state of the entertainment visa is it got really strict, is I guess how I can put it one way. It got really strict because a lot of people were kind of abusing it and using it as a way to be in Korea, but they weren't really working. They were just using the entertainment visa as like a way to stay there. And then it was like, oh, well, you're not making any money. You're not actually doing the entertainment thing. You need to leave. So they changed the regulations, and entertainment visas are oh, by the way, I see H-1 working holiday visa. As an American, you can only get an H-1 working holiday visa if you are fresh out of college of 2 years. And I don't look it, but I graduated in 2016. So I graduated a while ago. I'm long past like the fresh out of college thing. And they currently suspended the H-1 working holiday visa for Americans. I'm not sure why, but it's currently suspended. So I can't do that. And I'm not joining the army. No offense to anybody else joining the army, but again, I'm trying to make the videos and I'm not totally sure how much content would be made on like the video platform. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Amanda. Seriously, thank you so much. Every bit counts because your girl's trying to get back. Um, Anyways, let's talk about the entertainment visa. I'm getting distracted. That means so much to me, Amanda. It's so bright on my screen. The heart, the smiley. Thank you so, so, so much. Truly, I cannot thank you enough. The entertainment visa has changed that you have to make a minimum per month in Korean won in order to be able to keep that visa. So if you want to be on an entertainment visa, I am not sure if it's the same for everybody, but I've heard it's around like 650 US dollars. That's give or take like $50 per month in Korean won. So like if I'm making videos and I get paid through AdSense or I get paid through the interwebs in some way, shape, or form through an American company, or like my YouTube account is connected to my American like address and all the stuff, taxes and all that stuff is through my American address, that doesn't count as Korean won. So this would have to be like Korean organizations that would like to work with me, or if I had like some sort of entertainment job or I did an acting gig, which I'm an actress, so like I could very well do that, but in order to make like that much per month, I would have to have way more subscribers. I'd have to have like way, my channel would have to grow a whole lot more in order for me be able to do that. And so it's kind of like entertainment visa would be wonderful. I love making videos, but right now it doesn't really make sense. Slash, if you're thinking of getting an entertainment visa, be very careful because there are only a few organizations that I would even recommend you reach out to, especially if you're not in Korea in that moment. So many people try to uh, they kind of make it seem like you need to pay something and they try to get your money from you because they know that you don't know any better. So it's like entertainment visa is something you have to be very cautious about. And so when I found that out and I realized entertainment visa wasn't going to be as easy as I thought and I would be like having to make more money than I thought, it just really it added up a lot to like the positives and negatives. The negatives were like heavily outweighing the positives as of right now. So I want to be on an entertainment visa at some point. That would be ideal, dreams, goals. I just don't think that I'm going to be able to afford it. And so basically, I had to leave Korea because I didn't find any other visa options. And it kind of just seemed like the only thing I can do is do a student visa. And student visa means you need to be in your home country because you need to get things notarized and apostilled. It's like official stamps that show that the document that you're sending to them is like actually official. And so I knew that coming home was like basically my only option. And it has been hard. again, it's really hard to live somewhere where you just don't feel like you fit, especially being at the age that I am. You guys probably don't know how old I am. Maybe you do, but I am 28 years old in US. In Korean, I'm actually 30. Ugh. I don't look probably that age, I don't think, but you can tell me if you're surprised. I I know that I literally just got so out of train of thought, but in America, especially in the South, especially a Christian, you often are looked at as like, why aren't you married? Like, why aren't you doing the whole children thing? Like, why? Where's the ring? Like overseas, when I live with like fellow expats in Korea, it's the first place that I felt at home. Like I felt like, wow, I have other people here who aren't forcing me or making me feel uncomfortable for being me. Like I had people around me that were also single and interested in dating and maybe marriage, but that wasn't like the priority for them. And it was just like I felt so at home in multiple ways. I felt loved by people. I felt understood. I didn't feel like I was broken and messed up in this way of like, why don't I have this desire for marriage? And so, yeah, so I feel very privileged to have been able to now have gone to Korea 2 times. Like insane that I was able to go. I spent more of 2021 in Korea than I did in America. Like, what a privilege. I know so many people would give anything to do that. But now it's gotten to the point where I seriously my funds I've the reason I have not been making a lot of content or you don't see me a lot on Instagram is I am quite literally door dashing and shipped shopping my life away. I some days get up at 8 a.m. and I don't stop until like 10 p.m. and I'm just order after order after order after order, trying my best to make as much money as quick as possible because I was accepted into a Korean language program for this coming March. So that's the reason I waited to tell you guys is because I wanted to talk about I am in America. I wanted to talk about the fact that there is an opportunity in front of me to go back to Korean language school. This coming end of February is when I would have to leave. And if I do this, I would have to stay in an Airbnb quarantine facility. So I think that would be a really helpful video is to show you what it looks like a hotel government facility quarantine versus like Airbnb slash finding your own apartment kind of place quarantine. I figured that that would be something helpful and I'd be able to just give you more Korea update videos. But it is honestly coming down to the fact that I don't know if I can afford the ticket to get there. I'm very, very blessed that I have a way that school is not something like the tuition fee is not something I actually have to worry about because my family is truly like, I cannot thank the Lord enough for giving me the parents and the family that I have because it is like, the runway that I have for life because of my parents, like, I could cry. I'm so thankful. They support me so well through all of my crazy stages of life. So thankfully, I don't have to worry about the tuition side of it. I do have to worry about my apartment and paying for that. But again, my parents like they want to make sure that I have a home to come home to if things don't work out. It's just the flight ticket that is like the big, I would say like chunk. You guys, thank you so much. I have beneath below and I see someone saying like you can start a GoFundMe. I do have an account below. I want to know how to say your name. Tririta. Thank you so much, girl. So much. Below, I have a link to something called Kofi. It's KO-FI, and it's like a way that you can support someone. And again, please don't feel any pressure at all. I just think of it as like a way to buy me a cup of coffee. I always edit my videos in a cafe, so that's why I set up that account is it's like a way to buy me a cup of coffee. I go to the cafe and edit, so it's like you're saying thank you for the future content kind of thing. But I do actually post separate videos on there for people who support me on Coffee. So if you're a Coffee supporter, you can go on there and once a month, if not twice a month, I film more like personal updated videos, very casual, no editing, but like it's like another opportunity for you guys to, I don't know, see the real me, see for sure like how I'm doing. And so again, no pressure at all, but any support at all would be so incredibly helpful because it's like the opportunity is in front of me. I am just so freaking terrified that I am going to go to Korea, be in school, I'm doing the thing, I'm in the place, I'm helping you guys out as much as I can, and I go broke. And I don't think that's going to happen because I truly believe that the Lord has provided so much for me up to this point that all I can do is continue to give this whole situation to him. And if you guys know me personally, I always want to buy the meal if I'm with someone. I want to buy our coffees. Like I always try to not let people pay for me because I want to be thankful to that person that they took the time to meet with me or took the time to come hang out with me. I wouldn't even let my prom date, like, I had to put up a fight back in high school. I didn't want my prom date to buy my meal when we went out to eat. I feel so, like, strong, independent. I don't need no man. I don't need no money. Like, I felt so like, I got this. And this is the first stage in my life where, like, I don't I don't got this by myself. So I have to keep praying and asking the Lord to give big shipped orders and big DoorDash orders and on the coffee link as well, or Venmo if you want to Venmo. My Venmo is attached on my Instagram. But that's it. That is my life update. I'm going to now look at the wonderful questions that you guys have on here. What school am I going to? I'm a little hesitant to share I don't know why. I'm scared to share, but once I'm in the school, you guys will know. Um, but I think I've talked about it on another live that it's the best school for speaking in Korea. I want to learn how to speak Korean, so it's the best speaking school. Like they focus on the talking. So if you know what it is, feel free to guess. Marlena, hi girl. Hi friend. Marlena is one of my few friends here in Georgia that I love so 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 much. Um I need you to get there before me this summer. Yes. Yes, girl. I hope I can get there before you and give you even more helpful tricks before you get there this summer as well. I've been looking for language programs. You could also do a video about those. Yes, so I definitely plan to do a video on how to apply to be a student because this has been a mess. Like I didn't even know if I was going. But the process of figuring it out is anxiety driven. So I will definitely make a video on how I applied and what that looks like. Oh my gosh, you got this, girl. You are so sweet. Thank you so much. Um, do you have a job? I do have a job in the States. Currently, I am doing all of the delivery. Like I basically either go shop for someone and I drop off their goods, or I go pick up food and I drop off their goods. I tried to apply to be a server at a few restaurants, but if I am leaving at the end of February, I feel bad to like put myself out there for a job and then be like, see you later, bye in a month. And it's nice that I can work like 14 hours a day if I want to, because I'm trying to make as much money as possible. And there's definitely like a rhythm to it. So, yeah, I'm trying to do a job that I can kind of make my own schedule more so and still be able to make money. Videos. I was like, what was I trying to say? Still trying to make YouTube videos at the same time. You're currently attending a Korean language institute. Marissa, where do you go? Tell me more, tell me more. Did you get very far? Okay. Anybody know Greece? Or is that too old? Can't students work minimally? Yes. I can. That's another reason why I am okay with doing a student visa is because I can work part-time. So that's literally the only way that I'm going to probably be able to survive. I've had a I feel very blessed, but I've had a few companies reach out about like working with me with skincare and stuff like that. And I'm just really hesitant to accept things because I want you guys to trust me and I want you to know that like if I'm telling you to use something that I actually use it or I actually think that it did good results, but I'm trying to figure out the balance between like I'm broke and there could be potential pay. So yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, but at the end of the day, you guys know I always want to be honest, 100% all my videos. I don't want something to just be fake. Um so I'm trying to figure out what the heck that means for being a YouTuber. Like where if anybody knows has any advice on like where you draw the line with that kind of stuff so that you do remain honest, but you still pay bills. Would love to have your advice. Yeah, be careful with working while studying because you need permission from your university. Correct. You need to ask the school, is it okay if I do this thing? Correct. Yonsei, no. Thank you so much for being vulnerable with us. I am happy. I will always continue to always be vulnerable. I hope to always be vulnerable and honest. You guys are guests in schools, but so far I do see one person who's mentioned it. Um, we'll see if I spill the beans later or not. But as far as I know, international students can do part-time. Correct. Yes. Oh, a few of you got the school correct. Do I tell you or do I not? I swear, never let me pay for anything. Marlena, I love you. I want to pay for our meals together. Meanwhile, me trying to cram Korean classes in on Sundays. I wish I could download it into my brain. Korean is so difficult. I want to, I just like, I want to just get in my brain, but it's so, I feel like I'm not basic beginner. Like I know, like I'm not bottom level. I know something, but I'm definitely not enough to say like, it's usually beginner, intermediate. What is in between? I am very much in between, and I don't think there's a class that starts there. So I probably have to start at the beginning again, which is going to be a little frustrating, but it's okay. It's okay. I want to learn Korean. It is hard. Um, hope to see you there. Helen, are you going to school? What school are you going to? I'm also from Georgia and living in Seoul. Hey, Peachy. Is that why you have Peachy in your name? I'm not from Georgia, but I do live in Georgia currently. Girl, if COVID gets better, let's meet and make cool Korean content together. There are so many of you wonderful people that are like, let's hang out. I am completely okay with meeting people. I just also feel a little overwhelmed because I didn't think anybody would want to hang. But I'm trying to think if there's like safe ways to meet in small groups or figure something out when I hopefully do get back to Korea. I don't know how to do that during a pandemic. I don't know how to do that well, but I really am willing to meet as many of you guys as would like to meet me or hang out. How long will you be there for language school? I heard it's only for a few months. So, in order to get a visa, you have to buy at least 2 semesters for Korean language school, so that would bring me until August, but I believe that I would add on another semester and I would go until the end of November. Is that right? Yeah. I kind of have to recheck in with myself come August because I'm very close with my parents, so I do like to come back when I can to see them. Slash, I do want to be realistic, and if my YouTube channel hasn't grown a lot in that amount of time, then I don't think that I can afford to stay. So, like, if my YouTube channel isn't growing, that's like the whole reason I'm hoping to stay is to become like to turn into an entertainment visa and to be able to work for like some kind of, I don't know, Korea tourism, something like that. I would love to do that. But for now, I will be there a minimum until August, end of August, and kind of recheck in and see what's going on with my YouTube channel and my future because I would love to do this full time, but I just don't know if it's gonna happen or not. Let's see. Oh my gosh, you guys have so many wonderful comments. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard, but you guys type so fast. We're just gonna have to go back to the beginning. If I miss something, please retype it because I want to answer as many questions as I can. I've heard from many students that go to various language schools that it would be very difficult to keep up with school and work at the same time. May want to keep that in mind. Oh, for Sure. That is one of the reasons why I plan to, even though my Korean is probably not level 1, I plan that's not English. I plan to start at the very bottom so that I can work on what the balance of that looks like with homework, with feeling just drained from taking classes, and I haven't taken classes in a while. And I'm trying to make work as minimal as possible, and that's why I'm trying right now to work as literal hard as I can. Like, that's why I'm doing 14-hour days, 12-hour days, 10-hour days of running around delivering food is because 'cause I'm trying to give myself the best runway that I can, thinking about, like, rent and how much rent is gonna be, food, surviving. So yeah, so I am keeping that in mind. Do you also think Seoul is a bit empty dead because of the pandemic? I honestly don't. It is difficult to get around day to day. It's not the same, but there's definitely people there. It's way more dead than like Korea. Korea should be way dead in comparison, but it's still lively enough to me that I still think it's worth going, even though the pandemic makes it a little crazy. I still think it's worth visiting Korea and living in Korea. Did you leave Korea? I very much did, but I hope I can go back. I explain all of that at the beginning of the video. If you guys missed it, you can always go back and rewatch. Literally, please, if possible, host a small get together. I would pull up. You're so sweet. You seem very nice and down to earth person. I would love to meet you. That's so sweet. Thank you so much for saying that. The fact that anybody would want to chill. What am I doing with my legs? I'm obviously fidgety. I've been so nervous to talk about this with you guys because I didn't go into exactly like the pains of being in America as much and how hard it's been, but it's just a very like difficult topic for me to talk about. So I was just scared, but I'm excited that there is potential, prayerfully hopeful future of me being able to go back. But if you guys would like to meet up, I got to figure it out. I don't know if you guys would be down to like do little tours or something with me and I show you like my favorite places. Um I've honestly been wanting to like create a tour myself of like a Airbnb. You know, Airbnb has like this subsection of like things that you can do in Seoul and they do cost money. But I would love to like be a little tour guide. I just want to do everything legally. So that's another thing we got to figure out. But our Korean school is offline now in Korea. It is a mix. I've heard both, but I've also heard that they go on and off. So there's not really like a for sure. I believe they were on break. They didn't they're back on. Schools are back on. I'm not 100% sure. I just know that I've heard both from people. You need a meet and greet. You guys are so sweet. I would love to meet you. Universities are online right now. Thank you for telling. I've heard both. I've still seen some of my friends still go to class. So, I don't know. I was in Myeongdong and Hongdae and there wasn't much going on. Definitely from probably someone in Korea's perspective who saw old Korea would think it's dead. From my perspective, someone that has only seen post-pandemic Korea, I still think there's a lot of people, a lot of stuff going on. Then again, I haven't seen, the place in the last month, so I don't know if things got really crazy, but if you're someone that likes to cafe hop, you like to go out to eat, you're vaccinated, I still think there's a lot to do and it's super fun. Maybe it's just me. People probably think it's like dead, but for me, I still think there's a lot of people. Language school. I have been tempted by that as well. I'm gonna be teaching, but maybe eventually do language school since I eventually do. Ooh, you want to do translation? That's awesome. Uh, I totally commend you for doing the whole teaching route first because you're gonna be making all of the money. I cannot afford. Um, I can't afford to do teaching as far as like the cost of teaching time wise. It's just too much time for me. Girl, please post more Instagram reels. I have so much content for Instagram. I hate Instagram. Is that bad? I feel so bad for saying that. I really struggle with Instagram. I have so much Instagram reel content that is so much like I'm so excited to post it. I am just working so much and I'm trying to focus on getting some video up at least like once a week, once every other week. and the videos take me a while, but I have so much good real content. Miranda, you've inspired me. I'll put another one up soon. Oh, I'm studying Korean for 6 months too. I love to stay longer too and work on tourism or something like photography, but I probably have to go back to Australia. Isn't it so frustrating that it's hard to stay in a country that is super awesome? It's not perfect. Korea's not perfect. No country's perfect, but it's frustrating when you want to stay somewhere and you can't. Sorry, I'm sitting on the ground, so now my legs are extended, so it looks like I'm like giving you guys a side eye, but I'm just trying to relax over here. Um Obviously, I'm way more relaxed now that I, like, shared, my life story. There are also part-time English teaching positions. Yes, that's what I'm interested in doing, is doing some teaching part-time, because that's way less of a time commitment than the full-time thing. Are you coming back to Korea as a student this year? I really hope so. Lord help me. I really seriously hope so. I actually feels nice right when you get there to get your bearings with not. Ooh, I keep trying to read it and someone else comments, and so it goes like this, and my eyes are doing this. It actually feels nice right when you get here to get your bearings with not being packed, but yes, it's nice when it picks back up. Okay. Yes, it is nice to feel like you can kind of get to know the space and you're not like overwhelmed by this massive crowd. But it would be nice for things to pick up back up for sure. Seoul is okay now. Yeah, a lot of people who are maybe more into the party scene. I'm not very much so into the party scene as much. That was a horrible sentence. I am not as into the party scene. So, I am not someone that's, like, going out and we staying out. Like, I'm a grandma on the inside. I'm a night owl, but I'm still a grandma. I can't stay up until 5 in the morning like some people do. So, for the 5 a.m.ers, they're probably disappointed. But for someone like me who wants to explore pretty sights, wants to walk the Han River, wants to go to cafes. I like sunsets on the sunset walks on the beach. I'm just kidding. But like for my maybe chill lifestyle, I still think Seoul is a great place to be right now. But I guess it's kind of like, what are you into? What did you major in university? I double majored in math science, middle childhood education, and theater. I took I think by the end of it, I had taken like 36 credit hours over what I needed to take because there was a big misunderstanding with what classes I needed to take. I took so many dang classes. It was insane. I was taking 24 credit hours every semester because I took 20 credit hours of class and then 4 individual credits of like the after school the theater program that I was in. So I was like in the musicals. I did choir, I did band, and then I had personal voice lessons. So your girl packed school. We did the college thing. We packed it up. I'm not excited to take classes. I don't know how it's going to go. But if you couldn't tell, I like learning. I like studying. I have to like learning if I take 24 credit hours like an idiot. But, um I lost where we were in the comments. You guys are so wonderful. I love all these comments. Instagram is dead. Focus on TikTok. I hate TikTok. You guys, YouTube is the only thing I like. Maybe I need to hire someone to help me with like TikTok and Instagram because Instagram's not dead in Korea. It's very alive in Korea. But um if you need an Instagram manager, uh let me know. I can help you out. I'm if I could afford someone to pay if I could afford to hire someone, I have so much content for Instagram. I would love help. I just think that slash TikTok is something that I would love to use in the future more so, but to make videos and do the editing of that in itself is really, really a lot. So we'll get there. We'll get there. Really appreciate my H-1 visa even more now I'm flying. Yes, yes, I remembered you're flying there. Finally, after 2 years, for this experience, did you think about border hopping every 3 months or so? I have thought about border hopping. That would honestly be the most ideal. You should be very appreciative of your H-1 working holiday visa. They are hard to come by, and the fact that Germany is allowing them, I'm really jealous. Border hopping is something that I really wanted to do. It was very much something I was interested in doing. Quarantine, COVID, it's just not a yeah, I can't afford to keep doing government facility quarantine. That's too expensive, way too expensive. I mostly use Insta for art. TikTok is a good platform for rep Midwest. Yeah, so it's kind of like they both have pros and cons. TikTok is definitely more addictive. I used to make TikToks back in quarantine just to be silly and funny, and it was fun and I got a decent amount of views, but it's now my Instagram or my TikTok is like labeled funny stuff. It's not labeled Korea stuff. So I'd have to like rewrite the algorithm as to what videos I was posting, and maybe it could help me. It's so hard when I don't like social media to have to be on social media. Like, I love this moment. I love talking with you guys, but like the act of posting pictures and stuff, your girl just doesn't like it. I don't like it. I need to figure out how to like it. I definitely agree. I will be studying at Yonsei and I leave in less than 3 weeks. And the process has been so anxiety driven and stressful. And I'm already trying to figure out the best way. It is insane how much they expect you to like, Korea doesn't take Korean language schools don't take into account the fact that you're not in Korea. You gotta mail these things and ship them overseas and ship them everywhere, and it is expensive to get a piece of paper to the other side of the world. Way too expensive, so it is stressful. I really hope that things work out really well for you. Who is that? All things Bree? Is it Bree? I really hope things work out well for you, and I'm excited for you to go to school. I hope you have a really good semester or two, or however many you're taking. Or if you want to focus on TikTok, Miranda, hit me up on Instagram. We'll talk because I need help. um, I'm a grandma owl too. I love it. All my grandma owls in the house. Love to stay up late, but I need to be in bed or something. Like, I just need to aimlessly be in my bed. 5 a.m., just call me granny, I will be in bed. Amen. Amen, Chrissy. The stress and long process of moving to another country is stressful, but the excitement wins all the way. Amen. The excitement makes the crazy, honestly, hell of trying to get to this country, trying to get the visa, all that. It makes it all worth it in the end. Do you feel Korea was safe as a foreigner for foreign women? I honestly, I really do. Korea is one of the safest places that I have ever. You look like a secret agent, Maddo. I don't sure. Okay, back to your foreign women question. Foreigners in Korea. Korea is one of the safest countries that I have ever lived in. The CCTVs everywhere, but just like crime is usually really low in Korea. Like, I never felt scared to ever be anywhere. Like, there will be an old drunk man passed out on the street. He could literally be like, let's pretend this is a wallet. He could be passed out on the street like this. He'll wake up and his wallet will still be there. People, not always, again, this isn't like a always situation, but there's things that could happen in Korea that I just don't think that the same could happen in America. And overall, walking the streets at night, I'm never like paranoid, like looking around. I'm cautious, I'm not stupid and just like blah 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 blah. Like, I'm a foreigner. Anybody want to talk? Strangers on the dark alley? Like, I don't do that. But overall, I feel way more at peace exploring the streets of Korea when the sun goes down with friends and hanging out than I would if I was like in New York City or something like that. So personally, I just think that Korea is really, really safe. Something that could be a fun way to study language and also meet some of your fan group is maybe do a study session because I lost it. Because I would 100% do that. That is a really good idea. If you guys have any recommendations on how we could have little small meetups or do something, I would love to even have like Zoom hangouts just to get to know. Like, I would love to have some kind of thing that I start of like a weekly meeting for people who live in Korea just so that y'all can meet each other. Because a lot of you, I think you reach out to me because maybe you're going to Korea by yourself and you're looking to meet people, but you're like, I don't know who. And then you find my videos and you're like, she seems pretty cool. And I'm maybe I'm cool sometimes. I don't know. I'm weird, but maybe you like weird and you want to hang out. And it's like, I wish I could clone myself, but I can't like hang out with everybody. So I wish there was a way I could connect y'all. Do we have like speed dating for friends? I don't know. Let's talk about it. I think it's cool. I think it'd be a cool idea. Um, Miranda, you are literally the sweetest. I want to hug you. Seriously though, message me and even if I can just like we'll talk. We'll talk. I hope you continue to keep your channel growing with Korean content. Then someday you can live on only with visa filming, so Immigration Center can possibly give better visa because you are an influencer. What a goal, right? That would be so much fun to be able to do YouTube full time, to help you guys full time, just to like hang out and this be like my job at the same time. Ugh, that would be great. How do you know how much money it is for 10? Do you know? Do you know how much money is for 10-day quarantine? So, government facility quarantine, if you're coming on a short-term visa, which is 90 days or less, you have to do 90-day visa, which means you have to do government facility quarantine, and it is around 1,000 USD, give or take $100. Probably maybe 1,000 to 1,100 in there for the 10 days at government facility quarantine, which is why if I come back as a student, I'm hoping I can get an apartment in advance. Another great video, how I get my apartment. Um, get my apartment and then I can have that quarantine there. Yes, I hope I can quarantine there because that would save me a lot of money because I could do that because I'm on a student visa, which is considered a long-term visa. So that would be a wonderful way to save money as well. Because government facility quarantine, your girl went 2 times, and both times it was 14 days quarantine. I spent $3,000. That is disgusting. But that is like this is what younger Megan was saving for, was moments and experiences like this. Like, I really worked to save my money. So it's a privilege, and I'm so thankful that I had parents that instilled, like, good spending money habits into me. Or also it was just me wanting to be smart about my money too. You're doing great, even though you are doing great though, and everyone loves you, even if you aren't present on your socials. Thank you, Hope. You're so sweet. You guys should check out Hope's channel. I really love Hope's channel. Her name is My Name is Hope. I think her vlogs are my new favorite to binge. I'm gonna put her channel. You should check out her channel. I think her videos are super chill and relaxing. And a good way to see Busan. And she actually lives in the area that I used to live in Korea. So her videos always make me feel at home because I get to see like where I used to live. So I really like her videos if you haven't watched them. Do you know where in Seoul I can get a PCR test for a certificate to get back home? I have a video on my channel that is, what is it called? It was a video that I changed the title so that it stopped getting as much exposure. And then I tried to put like a please read the description in the title so that people would read the description. In the description of the video that I say, like, don't a free PCR test to go home to leave Korea, there is a backup plan that I have labeled. It's a place in Gangnam, and that is actually the place that I went to get my PCR test to go home. And if you're interested in it, I took quick footage of that, and it would be a very short video, but it would show you where the clinic was, how fast the results were, 20 minutes, and it was just such an easy process. But it was an antigen test. They also had PCR tests, I believe, but antigen tests are acceptable to go back to America. So if you're interested, I could throw that together super quick if you are interested in that video. What was one of your favorite chain coffee shops? Idia. Idia. Their actual coffee at Idia is we're not gonna say awful, but we're gonna say it's pretty bad. But their condensed milk latte, I think it's called Yonyu? Yonyu latte? I forget at this point. But I literally it was cheap. EDA is really cheap, so getting that's where I edit. Like, if you wanna know where I'm at, I'm either at an EDA or I'm at Holly's Coffee. I always go to those 2 places to edit my videos. And the reason I go to Angel and Us, there are some places that are open, like, 24 hours, so I go there too if I need to do a late night sesh, but EDA is still Yonyu Latte is my favorite, um, and then Angel and Us is probably my favorite place for the late night editing sessions. Loved how safe it was there. Yeah, Korea's super safe. There's no crime in Seoul because of cameras. Yeah, they're literally on every corner, every you could just turn like this, cameras. And there's even unwanted cameras, which is something else we need to talk about. Be careful in public restrooms. I talked about that once on my Instagram story, but there are so many cameras in Korea that there's also, like, when I say that, there's 2 meanings, like, CCTVs everywhere, super safe, lots of hidden cameras. They used to have problems, like, extreme problems with that in the past, like, the numbers got super high for how many, like, hidden cameras they were finding in bathrooms, um, and in, like, hotels and stuff, so always just be cautious if you use public restrooms. And if you ever see like toilet paper shoved into like the holes of the walls, that's because they're trying to cover up the CCTV or where there once was one. If you're ever wondering what those little holes are for. Da, 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 da. Oh, tell me about that. All the stress I went through to get everything organized. Oh my gosh. Holiday season. Yeah. We applying to be a student or a teacher, crazy. Can you share in a future video about what churches are like in Korea and how do you join these close communities? As a shy person, it's hard for me. I totally understand. It's hard to find a group of people, that like love you well. And it's hard to find a group of people, especially abroad. I am not sure if you are Korean or not. I just see your name is Diana. I don't know if that's like actually Korean name. You have Tehar. I don't know what that is, but Uh, if anybody is a Christian, like genuinely a Christian looking for a good community, there are 2 churches that I really, really recommend. Please message me on Instagram and I'd love to talk about them more. I have one of my best friend in Korea goes to one church, I go to a different church, and they're the 2 best churches that I have found. And so finding a good church in Korea, you have to be very careful because there are a lot of cults that want to pull you in and they just want to get your money, and they'll usually do that on the streets, and they usually take advantage of foreigners because they know you don't know any better. So don't talk to the random people that come up to you on the street that want you to buy things or want to try to talk with you. It's not natural in Korea for strangers to go up to strangers. So if they're doing that, it's probably not a good sign. So just be very, very careful. But please message me on Instagram and I will let you know um, more about like where I go, stuff like that. I'm getting yes, watch out for cults. Yes, correct. You got to be really, really careful. What are your favorite places in Seoul to hang out? I still love me a good cafe. I'm trying to think of what were like my go-to. I love Busan a lot. I personally love Busan over Seoul. And so I did more exploring and I have more of my favorites in Busan than I do in Seoul. And so I think that I would need to really sit down and think about Seoul, and I need to go back, which I will be going back and explore. But there is a hangout. What's hangout mean? I always go to cafes. What is this hangout? What does hangout mean when you say hangout? I need to know. And then maybe I can answer your question more because I'm thinking of like restaurants, cafes. I did a vlog. I have a vlog on my phone. I have a vlog of the cutest cafe. It had like teddy bear. It was in Hongdae. It had teddy bears everywhere and their desserts were so cute, but they were actually like good. I filmed it in a vlog. So I need to just edit that one soon because I loved that place so much. It's 3 a.m. in England. Girl, Amanda. This grandma had not been awake this late in years. I'm so glad that you stayed to talk. You're so sweet. Um, I'm studying at Yonsei and yo, meeting people. Y'all studying in Yonsei. That's so cool. Um, do you have a goal of what you're hoping to save for this trip? So I know that I want to work some in Korea. This is a really good question. If you're also, guys, man, so many video ideas. If you're interested in my budgeting as to how I budgeted and how I know how much I should save and how much I have spent and all of that jazz, um, I can make that. I have like a spreadsheet of like all of the money that I spent on my first trip versus my second trip. My ticket to Korea is around $1,000. Again, I can make it work. I hope, I think, I don't know. I really have to pray about it, but if the ticket is set in stone, then I think I would be in a much better place because it is $1,000, but I'm hoping to have around $5,000 saved up. The reason I have chosen that is rent. Um, that is not including key deposit. I don't know if you guys know about key deposit, but key deposit is like the massive amount of money, this huge amount of money that you put down as like your, if you break anything money, if you skip out and you don't pay rent money, and that's the money that you get back once you leave the apartment. The amount for that can be anywhere from $3,000 to 5,000 US dollars to 10,000 US dollars. So putting that aside, I'm hoping to have around $5,000 because the last time I was in Korea, I spent around $3,500 in total of like rent, day-to-day stuff. I seriously cut a lot of spending in like the food category. Like I wasn't going out to restaurants a lot because that was just I was buying like bulk eggs and kimchi and stuff to survive. But like I did do fun things for content related. And then I needed to, obviously have a place to live. And there was like the occasional, like, yeah, splurge for video editing and stuff like that. And then I had wonderful friends sometimes that would pay for my meals out. So I think if I had around $5,000, I would feel safe to arrive in Korea. I have a few months down under my belt, and I just know I can't work a lot, so I need to stretch that as much as possible. And I'm not exactly there yet, savings wise, but again, I am working the hardest I've ever worked in my entire life. I've never worked this much. I've never door dashed, hopped, shopped for other people as much as I have. So I'm working extremely hard, and I'm hoping that I can raise enough money for myself to go and trust that God's got it. But I don't want to just be stupid and go without any money under my belt. But that is what I think is a good money budget for myself. But again, if you wanted to go on less, you could go on less if you want to be super stingy. And there are much cheaper ways that you can live in Korea. There are a lot of shared houses that are $8 a day to live in them. So you can go to Korea and you can live in Korea for not a lot of money. And I don't think people realize how cheap it can be. But I need to have my own place. I can't film if I don't have my own place. I am very introverted, and I need my own space for me to survive. I don't know if anybody else is out there, any other introverts out there. If you live within the same walls as another human being, it feels like you're always going. Like the inside of you is ticking always. That's on go. And it doesn't feel like you can just like, my home, relax when there's another human being in there. So I need to have my own place. So that made the living rent higher probably than a lot of people. If you're extroverted and you don't mind sharing a room with somebody else, it's super cheap to live in Korea, with some of these Airbnbs. Yes, quarantine is now 10 days. Did you hear about the new rule changes coming up for mid next week? Like they're planning to do only antigen tests because it's faster and they want to reduce quarantine to 7 days. I did not hear that. I usually wait until things are more official. I hear a lot of rumors, but I don't want to get too excited about stuff until it's like official, but that would be amazing. Antonym chests are much cheaper and much quicker. That would be amazing. I got into International House, but I got an off-campus place because I wanted a single room. Yep, amen. Just need my own space, you know? Adriana gets it. I'm happy for you, love. Gotta get to bed. We'll talk soon. Yes, Marlena, I will see you very soon. Much love, girl. Thank you for answering my questions. Happy to help. Happy to help. If I missed your question, please type it again because a lot of comments keep doing this thing and I'm trying to work on it. I'm here in a 90-day right now, trying to secure a D4 so I can stay and study Korean. Yes, after fighting for 3 years to get here, I will find a way to stay here. Fighting. Best of luck. Period. I don't blame you, although that's why I choose to live off campus. Gotta have the own space, you know? I'm excited to get to meet the people and get to attend the church you told me about. Yes, I'm so glad that you're coming to my church. Like I said, guys, if you're a Christian looking for a church, there's a wonderful group of people that I have met. And I would love to share that experience with you. Key money equals security deposit. Good way to put it. Yes, security deposit. I always forget that because I only remember the Korean word. But yes, security deposits are astronomically high in Korea. Blows my mind. And that's why you have to be really careful because you don't want to get scammed. And then you lose this massive amount of key money. That would suck. But I'm very, very thankful that I have wonderful people in my life that are willing to help me so much. Yes, English ministry Jubilee in Myeongdong. This is the other church that I was going to recommend to people. So yeah, Jubilee is a really good church that one of my best friends goes to, and I've heard really great things about the ministry there as well. So Jubilee is a church that I would check out. If you want to know another church, please message me. If you're going as a student, yes, you need to show proof of funds. Thankfully, I have people in my family, and I was allowed to, since we have the same name, I was allowed to show their bank account statement, and that is what allowed me to get in because it's like if I am stuck or I'm in need of funds, like there is someone in my life that can help me out. So it was $10,000 that they asked me, but every school has a different like requirement for the bank account funds fee total. Amen. Amen. Introverts unite. Yeah. But separately, please. Emily, I love you. Introverts unite, but separately, please. That's so funny. Try looking into flights that have layovers in Canada. It's now cheaper. Okay, I will. Thank you so much for the recommendation. I understand the introvert living alone feels gotta do it. Gotta have my own space to me, myself, and I, and the Lord. I feel you. The social battery is lacking. Amen. Love you guys. Cost of living is amazing compared to America. True. Cost of everything has gone up here in Florida, everywhere, I'm sure, but South Korea is our goal for the future. Yeah, so South Korea, I will say, if you have that massive amount for the key money, which you got to remember, you get the key money back. If you have that big deposit, then you can pay a lower, like the more that you can put on the key deposit, the lower your rent will be. So the amount that I'm going to end up paying for rent to live in Seoul is so cheap in comparison to America. It's just the fact that you got to give up, your arm and your legs worth of rent on this key deposit, security deposit. That's the only thing. But yeah, it is definitely cheaper to live in Korea than America right now. I mean, America's very expensive right now. The price of everything is. I'm staying in a Gosh. Oh, yes. Deposit was only 20,000 won. 잠시만요. 20,000 won to USD. How many times do I do this? Wait, what? Where are you? What? Your deposit was only 20,001? That's amazing. Do you have your own space? Tell me more. Or you can message me on Instagram. I'm very interested. Oh, okay. So it depends on how many semesters you're staying. Okay. So there's different. Okay. So if you're staying for one semester, 5,000, two semesters, 10,000. That would make sense. Which university are you attending? Maybe I'll tell you guys later. I'll confirm later. For now, I just want to keep something a little private. Eventually, I'll tell you where I'm going to school, but I don't know why I'm a little scared to say it right now. I don't know why, but um really said that you're introverted because there is even a possibility for live for free in South Korea. Work for hostels and get accommodation and food in exchange. Pirate Dan did it for a year. Yes. I don't know if you saw. I met Pirate Dan. He's awesome. He's hilarious. And yeah, it does financially suck that I am introverted, but I also care about my living space being like clean, and a lot of like big houses like that with all the shared people and the shared things. I did that. I did the shared thing in Korea. I had a free place kind of ish. Not free, but stayed at this place. Lots of people, tiny room with four of us. It was dirty. It was nasty. The bathroom was not worth it. So it's kind of like I don't even know if I could do it if I was extroverted because it's so dirty. And usually there's just so much happening. There's so much shared space. It's a lot. So money wise does suck, but like I can't change like who I am in like the cleaning regard. So my own space it is. um hello to the new people that have joined or gone or come recently. Um There are so many comments that I keep missing, and I feel so bad, and I try to go scroll back up, but then if someone else comments, it goes "Bleep." I just am looking to stay. The reason why I wanna stay in at least, like, an apartment or a place to myself is it's my own space. I like to have my own room. It needs to be at least decently quiet for filming and Chick-fil-A drink. Hey, gotta hit up the Chick-fil-A when you in America, know what I'm saying? The Lord's chicken. But yeah, I just think that getting an apartment, the rent is gonna be the cheapest. Um, so I think that's just gonna be the best. Hongdae, yeah, Hongdae is nice. I've stayed in Hongdae multiple times. It's just a little bit younger of a vibe. I'm a little bit more like I like to live more on the outskirts. So I usually lived on the outskirts near Hongdae, but not in Hongdae. But Hongdae is a really great place to visit for sure. Your rent. Wow. That is amazing. We need to talk. You should reach out to Adrian Hill. I have met Adrian Hill. I actually helped her film. She went to a surfing park place in Incheon, and I actually met her, and uh, we talk every now and then. So I think it. Yeah, I probably should ask her about it. But I also feel like I would do better building my own channel maybe first before I try to like go down the entertainment route. So in the future, for sure, all about it. But as of like in this moment, I think my channel is a little bit too low subscriber wise to really flip over to anything with the entertainment visas. But maybe if Korean tourism company ever sees me, they think I'd be worth working with. Let's hope, right? Um, Thank you for all these recommendations of like where to live and stuff. I will look into all of that. We first need to figure out the flight, and hopefully the flight thing can work out. But I'm going to keep working really hard, and I really do think I can build the funds. I think I'm going to be able to get it. Um, I really hope so. And I'm sure like you guys have already helped me out so much. So, like, together with you guys encouraging me and motivating me, I'm so excited. Like, I want to get back as soon as possible. So, I really do think that I can do this. I just got to work really hard, right? And then one day I'll look back on these lives and I'll be like, remember when I had to run around with shopping bags and run around Target and make my car smell like food to survive, and now I get to make videos. Let's hope I can get to that state of life one day. We'll see what the Lord has in store. Chick-fil-A. I'm 32, LOL, but the vibe is awesome with all the restaurants and busking. Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I still haven't experienced the busking yet because every time I've been there, it's been the cold, but I want to hopefully see all the busking. I've seen some videos that talk about the buskingness of it too, as well. Um, my throat is kind of hurting, sadly. I don't know why my throat has been hurting lately, but I will talk for as long as I can. But I might have to go sooner than I was anticipating because my throat hurts. uh, yes. So Mapoku, that is the area that I love visiting. That Hangout. Someone asked me about Hangout. That's the place. That area. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. There is a street. Dang it, I'm not going to be able to find it, will I? There is I have filmed, like I filmed some of the street, and it's like cute cafes, streets. There's two streets that if I ever did like a baby tour that you guys could come with me, I would take you to these two spots because I just loved the vibe. The cafes were great, the food was great. There's like a little cafe street. It's farther north actually. It's not in this area. It's farther north, but it's got like all these like Hanok Village cafes as well. Took videos for the Instagram reels there. That will be the next reel that I put up. We're saying it now. The street that I think everybody needs to go to is that street, and I'll put it in that Instagram reel. I'll put it in the description like where it is locationally so you can go visit it. That's the place to hang out. But Mapoko area is I love that area. It's like great little holes in the wall area. I love it. You guys are so cute. You can do it. 19. How long does it take from applying for my ARC to actually receiving it, or do I get it at the same day? So ARC, it depends on you're going to have to make an appointment because you're going on the H1 visa. You're going to have to make an appointment at the embassy, and you can actually go on to the embassy website right now and make that appointment right now. Usually the appointments book up like 2 weeks out. So if you made the appointment for like right when you get out of quarantine, you'd be set. But I think you have to go. I have not ever had to go and apply for my ARC. And as a student and as a teacher, your school usually helps take care of it. I just know that you need to go to the embassy and there's like paperwork that you need to bring. But again, I haven't had to do it, so I don't want to lead you astray too much, but definitely making an appointment at the embassy would be helpful just to book your slot now. And you can cancel it for free up to 1 day in advance. So you can make an appointment, I guess, in 6 months. And as long as you canceled it before the 1 day, you don't have to pay a fee or get in trouble or anything like that. But make an appointment at the embassy. Even if you're a student or a teacher, I've heard if you take the paperwork, again, what is the paperwork? I'm not totally sure yet, but I will find out and I'm going to make a video about it. But if you take the paperwork to the embassy yourself, even as a student or as a teacher, sometimes the ARC process can go a little bit faster. But I've heard that your ARC can come to you within 2 weeks, a week, but I've also heard it can take up to 3 months. So it also depends on what time of year you're going. And end of February, early March, a lot of students are coming. So the ARCs, the needing of the ARCs is like the need like out the roof. So there's a lot of delay, a lot of backup. Yeah, things get really backed up, and usually ARCs take a long time when the school semester is starting. So it might take longer, but if you get that appointment on lockdown now, you're good to go. Budget apps like Trip, Kayak, or Skyscanner have good flights as good flight deals. I got my ticket in February for $637. That is amazing. Just with a long layover in Vancouver. Yeah, if you're willing to do those long layovers, it's like you can go for dirt cheap. I am worried about this PCR test. And now that it is 48 hours rather than 72 hours, if I do a long layover in another country and it has to be within 48 hours of my departure, I'm worried that I would have to take 2 PCR tests in order to, like, get there, and they have to be rapid PCR tests, which each rapid PCR test, at least near me, they're expensive. So it's like if I start taking 2 rapid PCR tests plus the flight ticket just to deal with the long layover, I'm a little nervous, I guess. But I would rather just fly, not directly, but I would rather fly within America and then go to Korea, but I have to do what I have to do to get there, right? So, if I have to do a long layover, because that means I get to go to Korea, I'll take the long layover. That's what I did when I went the very first time. I went to Germany and I had, like, a 15-hour layover in Germany, and that was a mess. It was a mess, but we made it work, right? We got there. I got my ticket from Germany with a transit to Abu Dhabi for $400 one way. Guys, you need to tell me where you get these tickets because right now they are not that price. I think flights and stuff are becoming more expensive again. They used to be really cheap. I think they're kind of going up because the world's getting sick. I mean, we've been sick of the whole thing, but I think the world is kind of opening back up more so to travel. So the tickets are going this way in price, which sucks. God will provide. Amen. I need his help. I moved to England and lived there for 8 years. So you know what I mean. Wow, that is amazing. I love England. I studied abroad in London, and London, or England just in general, is my second favorite place that I've ever lived. I miss London so much, but thank you for that encouragement. I really needed that. Live walking video would be cool. Good idea. Is that what it's called? I will tell you what the Hanok place looks like in the Instagram reel that I'll make. Watching movie get I love Greece. Whenever you eventually get here, Brianna. I love that comment. Rep Midwest. I saw flights through Abu Dhabi for why did I read your name out? I'm so sorry. For $400. But there was a 29-year-old age limit for wait, there's an age limit on a flight? No way. That's a thing? An age limit? I've never heard of that. Yes, one way. Wow, I need to look where you guys are looking for these flights. Yes, okay. You need your ARC for literally everything. Correct, especially for a new SIM card after my Tracy one gets shut down. Yes, opening a bank account has to have an ARC. You literally need the ARC is connected to everything. Ordering food, delivering food to your house, you have to have an ARC unless you use the app called Shuttle, which I have linked that app and it has like a promo code attached to it where you get like $4,000 off your first meal. I linked that to my video where I talk about packing like your phone, like apps that need to be on your phone for international travel. I really recommend you download Shuttle now because you don't need an ARC card for that food delivery service. But sadly, it's newer, so it's more limited than like the other, go-to food delivery services, but it's something. And they just started a program where they're starting to deliver groceries. So I really recommend downloading Shuttle for sure. Don't quote me, but I've read from others on a tourist visa waiting on their ARC. As long as you get the process going, even if your 90 days expire, you stay in Korea while waiting on your IRC. I don't know anything about that process at all. I'm assuming you mean they come early on a tourist visa. Yeah, I don't know anything about guys, when I have to get my ARC, which I will have to get my ARC, I'll make a whole video on how the ARC process went down. What did I have to do? How can we speed her up? How can we speed the process up? I will inform you guys on all of that. Haven't caught up on the entire video, but you should look into yes, yes, yes. That's a really great way to say uh I'm forgetting how to actually say it, but the Goshi pages like are a really good way to save money on housing. Very correct. That's what a lot of you guys are saying in the comments. Really good advice there. Thank you. I did find an apartment potentially, if I do end up getting enough money for this flight ticket and I can work hard enough to earn it, I found an apartment that had super cheap rent for being pretty nice. So I'm hopefully, if everything can fall into place, I can stay there because the rent was really low for a really nice-ish place in a newish building right next to the school that I hope to go to. So gotta be in prayer on this whole process. Yes to England, ladies. I love it. You guys are crazy. Go to bed. I will be ending it soon, so it'll force you to go to sleep. Right, Amanda? um I'm so glad that you think this live is super fun. Is it Sina? Right? I'm so glad it's informative and fun. We love a good informative, fun live, right? We love it. Yeah, actually got Shuttle downloaded. I watched pretty much every video as prepared as much as possible. Um, but some things still work on the ARC. That sucks. Yeah. I'm glad that you've watched the videos in preparation. I'm really, really glad. I'm glad that Shuttle's on your phone and all that jazz. And hopefully the whole ARC process, because you're getting there, I believe, a little bit before the mad school rush arrives. So make sure you get an appointment at the embassy for like right when you get out of quarantine. And I think that will speed up your ARC receiving process. You can make an appointment, by the way, at the embassy if you just go to like the Korean embassy. It's all online. You just click a few things and you get an appointment. I had to do it a while ago and it was super easy. You should check out a few amazing travel vloggers called Flying the Nest, King, the Endless Adventure, and Travel Beans. They have great travel hacks. Great. I love good travel hack, people. I'll copy and paste that into a separate browser. We love to see it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lady MC, for the recommendations. I love good recommendations. Canceled my trip to see Coldplay just to accomplish my 5-year dream of living in Korea. Totally worth the sacrifice. I mean, whatever you want to do, live without regrets. Know what I'm saying? Live without regrets. Any last burning questions, please feel free to ask me, but I do think I am going to start signing off here. If you do have any other questions that I didn't answer, that I skipped over, you can message me on, literally, it's the same thing. That's my Instagram. Insta, up arrow, enter. If you guys have any questions, I always answer my Instagram DMs, but usually it takes me a while to get back to all of them. So I promise I will reply. It just takes a little bit of time. So I'll reply. I will. You just might need to give me some time. And if you give me time, I'll give you a reply. So thank you guys again so much for coming and listening about a crazy mess of past year. But I'm so thankful that you guys were able to join. I'm glad that you guys are able to encourage me to keep pursuing my dreams. And I hope that I can do the same for you. If you've always wanted to come to Korea and it's just on your bucket list, you don't know when it'll happen, I promise if things are meant to be, they will happen, right? If it's meant to be in our life, it's going to happen. So I'd rather all of us collectively live together without regrets, go for our dreams, go for things that we always wanted to, even if we're broke while doing it. It's worth the risk, right? You are worth risking it all if it's something that brings you joy, that brings you happiness, that you feel called to. People might think that you're crazy. People often look at me like I'm crazy. People often make fun of me because they're like, oh, so you're starting a YouTube channel now at this age? You know what I mean? Like, I've heard it all at this point. Probably not all. I have a few haters, not too many, thankfully, yet, but I've heard a lot of interesting comments, and people will try to bash you. People will try to bash your dreams. But at the end of the day, you are worth going for something that makes you happy, right? You're worth it. You are worth it. So I'm going to go spend some time with the Lord and pray. Yes, I'm a Christian. I need to spend some time praying over this whole trip because it's like right there. It's in the tips of my hands. It's in the pot. It's right, like we're right, tip of my tongue. Like I feel like I'm so close. I just need to earn a little bit more money and then I would definitely be able to go for sure. So Thank you guys so much for your support and your love here, for coming to listen. There were so many of you today. I hope you guys had fun. I love going live. So I hope that I can at least do this once-ish a week because it's just too much fun and I like to be able to answer your questions as well. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for all of the love. Ignore the haters. Amen. Honestly, the hate comments make me laugh. Like, people are like, "You're wrong. You're stupid. You don't know anything." And I was like, "Wow, someone sits in their bed and finds joy bashing people." And then I laugh and then I keep going. I usually reply to the hate comments too. Is that weird? I'm like, "Oh, thank you for the encouraging comment." Okay, I need to hang up. My throat hurts so bad. Thank you guys so much for coming. I love you all so, so, so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Annyeong. Heart, 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 heart. Bye.